Good morning, Form 2, and welcome. Today we are going to be looking at marriage. Remember in the last lesson we said that dating is a preparation for marriage, and it also helps us to build relationships with the opposite sex. Now we Catholics believe that marriage is a vocation, which is a special calling from God to do a special job. Marriage is also a sacrament or a sign of God's love for us. When a couple gets married, the couple promises or vows to love and be faithful to each other forever until death. We will now look at why we get married. Why marry? Marriage is the union or relationship between a man and woman as husband and wife. It is an important requirement of this union in most cases that neither the man nor the woman is married to someone else at the same time. The only exception to this is in Islam, where the Quran allows a man to have up to 4 wives at the same time. In practice, however, this is unusual in Muslim communities, except in exceptional circumstances. In all religions, marriage is an important and happy event. It is usually, but not always, a religious occasion and carried out in a place of worship. It is becoming increasingly common, though, for couples to marry in non-religious buildings with a ceremony that has no religious content. We will now look at marriage as being a legal agreement. For a marriage to be legal in the Caribbean, it must be solemnized in the presence of an official called a registrar. Most weddings are performed by a pastor or priest to seek God's blessing on the union. The ceremony may be carried out in a church or in the pastor's or minister's office. Many couples, especially from the working class, live together for years and have children before getting married. Some do not get married at all, mostly because of financial reasons. This is called the common law union. Okay, however, living in a plural society, not everyone subscribes to religious beliefs and customs. Therefore, we cannot judge them for their choices. Common law relationships, which would be common law relationships where they live together without getting married. In some countries, our society make provisions for such relationships. In event of a split or breakup, there would be child support and a division of property, etc. Now to look at a famous couple, Oprah and Stedman, they live together in a common law relationship. We do not judge them for their decision to live that way. But at the same time, as a Catholic, I would want to get married. Religion, to some extent, influences our behavior and choices. Therefore, as a Catholic, I decided to get married and have children. And you would probably do what your religion teaches. All right, so in some countries too, there are arranged marriages. The practice of parents arranging the marriage of their children and, to some extent, deciding who they will marry is still common in many religions, especially Hinduism and Islam. It is argued in justification that marriage is far more than just two people deciding to unite their lives, although this obviously is important. Marriage brings together two families, and it is important to find out whether this union will be a successful one or not. The marriage stands a better chance of being successful if the combined wisdom of the two families is sought before the final choice of the partner is made. At the same time, it is stressed in the Quran that every marriage must be freely entered into by the couple, and that no one should be forced to marry someone against their will or in ignorance. So finally, now we will look at the symbols of marriage, some symbols of marriage. Symbols are important in all religious ceremonies, but this is particularly the case in the marriage service. In most marriage services, the ring is used as a symbol of the unending love which is at the heart of all happy marriages. In a Jewish wedding, the huppah, which is a wedding canopy, symbolizes the home that the couple will set up together. A Hindu wedding takes place in front of the holy fire, which is a symbol of the presence of God. In many Buddhist marriages, the marriage itself is a symbol that the couple have turned away from pursuing a spiritual goal in life to the pursuit of material happiness and prosperity. Right, so let us now summarize what we learned today. Marriage is a union or relationship between a man and a woman as husband and wife. In the Caribbean, for a marriage to be legal, it must be solemnized in the presence of a registrar. Arranged marriage is still common in many religions, especially Hinduism and Islam. And then we looked at some symbols of marriage, which are most common: the ring, the huppah, the fire, and the marriage itself. Okay? So that is all for today. So until I see you next week, goodbye.